Hello everyone, this is GLG and I welcome you to this new video. Today, we're going to talk about the new Geekom A8 Max mini PC, the Max version of the A8. And we'll see that they have possibly addressed the only weaknesses that could have been found in the previous A8. It's the most powerful, it's the most complete, it's the most marvelous. It's really great. Come on, because seeing products in photos is good, but seeing them in videos is better. So unleash yourself and discover all our high-tech or smartphone tests. Let's start right away with the box contents. In the box, we have our mini PC. We also have a power supply up to 120 watts. Again, an HDMI cable, which is good, and a bracket to mount it either behind the screen or, for example, on top or underneath a desk. Well, in terms of the size of our mini PC, it's 135, yes, 13 centimeters by 132, okay, by 46. It's so stupid. Come on. Let's take a look at our mini PC. At the front, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports. There you go. So, well, if you're short on front USB connections, I think we're good with 4 ports here. That's really, really nice again. We will also have a jack for the microphone or to the speaker. And we'll also have a power on off button. On the right side, there will be a casing lock so you can attach a type of lock to secure the computer. It is so small and compact that someone could steal it or you might want to take it with you. So you can secure it with a specific attachment. On the other side, it might seem trivial, but to me, an SD card reader means a lot. Yes, because many of my devices are still in SD, and I always need a reader, meaning I have to use an adapter. At the back, my friend, at the back, it's a party. So we have, well, the power supply, okay, USB Type-C port, 4. So that's what is clearly marked. Once again, I'm going back a bit to the sheet. So USB Type-C, G and 4. Okay, HDMI sockets, 2 HDMI sockets, we'll see. We can put a maximum of 2 Ethernet ports, we'll talk about that later, a USB port, well, classic, 2, and a USB 3 port. Okay, well, it's still quite contained in terms of connections and all. There's just a little bit of info, let's say, but why 2? We will talk about it later. Below, we will also have 4 small pads once again and 2 screws to secure the device directly in place. Okay, we remove the pads and we will have 4 small screws. It's easy, you remove the screws, you have access to another panel. Well, a little tip. If you can't manage to remove this small black cover, which is quite well in place, you put the 2 small screws that are meant to mount it on the support, and then you can easily extract this small black plate. It's not very complicated, but it's easy to hit it hard on the table so that it falls. Underneath all that, we'll also have another plate, in which we'll have 4 small screws to remove, and then put back. It's over. Inside we'll have access. So apparently it looks like it's a new frame. So be careful, there are 2 small cables, one of which is super short, and I promise you that if it gets removed, to put it back, it's a hassle. It's not impossible, but it's a hassle. You will spend some time on it, so be a bit careful if you just want to take a look inside or change the RAM, because yes, you will have direct access to the dual channel DDR5 5600 RAM sticks. Okay? So you can put up to 64 gigabytes. So inside there are sticks, 8, 16, like that. You take them out, go to the store, say, I want the same, give me 2 times 32, you take them out, put it back, it's completely plug and play. Well, we'll notice we also have an M2 SSD at the back. Well, there you go. Up to 2 terabytes, it still allows you to add a bit of memory. We will really appreciate the aspect. There are little screws, you take them out, you put them back. If you want to clone your disk to put another one and all, it's rather easy. And that personally I like. Inside our processor, there are 2 versions. We have the AMD Ryzen 9 8945HS version. I don't want to say out of order, but rather super hyper. 5 GHz turbo, 8 cores, 16 threads, 16 megabytes of cache. It's about as good as it gets. As for processors, we might have noticed that in terms of RAM, it's quite loaded. In terms of memory too. Fun! Well, we put everything back together and start up our computer a bit. Then it starts like a Windows. Again, you set up your account, all that. Well, it's quite easy. You might say, yes, but I have the graphics part. That's what interests me. No, what interests you is the configuration part. We go into the system section. We realize we indeed have our mini PC. Okay, it's not bad. We have RAM. We have ROM. Again, we can access a little bit of everything. That's quite nice. It's not bad at all. So we have the 32 gigabytes of RAM version. No, there's the 32 plus 1 terabyte or 32 plus 2 terabytes. We have the 32 plus 2 terabytes with the R9. There, that's easy. You can see it in Windows, how much memory it processes, all that. Yes, but do I have what one can play with on a mini PC? Yes and no. Yes. We can have it, we can play. No, it's not made for that. Again, it's still a mini PC. It's not a gaming computer, but inside we do have an AMD Radeon 780mm graphics card. And when I did my Cinebench, just so you know, the best Cinebench score we could get, well, on the GT1 was 15,279. Who is the best of the best? Our A8, the latest with the Ryzen 9, we reached 14,086. And when we do our Cinebench with this one, we realize we reach 15,623. That means, in theory, once again, in terms of graphic performance, it is beyond the GT1, obviously beyond an A8. Even though it's the same processor, we really have today what is the most powerful at Geekom. Does it allow for gaming? Well, I'm not going to reinstall it again. Asphalt. No, it's not Asphalt, it's Forza. Since we tested it with the GT1 and it worked quite well. I will include the images if I find them. We're reinstalling Asphalt because it's one of my favorite games. Moreover, it's a game that's free and everything. It plays without issue once again. So can we play with it? Yes, with a reasonable approach. This means you shouldn't max out everything, but you'll be able to play a little since graphically it's the best we could find. And the older ones already allowed that. Well, it runs well momentarily under Windows 11 Pro. We have the key, it's official, it's perfect. And one of the questions I ask myself like you is why 2 Ethernet ports? Well, when you delve into the reasoning, it makes a lot of sense. That is why include it twice. The idea is not to connect 2 times to your box, but rather to have 2 different operators. If you need a perfect connection, to never lack connection, for example, for gaming, things like that, you could have 2 operators. Free and another, there you go, like that. So you would have 2 boxes, 2 providers. You can connect both of them behind. And it clearly tells us that by connecting both behind, it will already choose the best one. And then, if there's a connection issue with one, it will automatically switch to the other. So you will never have a connection loss. You're doing a live saying, but hello, how? A little seriousness? A little seriousness here. I mean, with 2 connections, you are sure to keep the connection, never disconnected. And for many, it can make sense. Regarding connectivity, of course, come on, Bluetooth 5.2. Very well. Wi-Fi 6E, very well. In addition to the dual Ethernet port, just in case. But personally, I'm team Wi-Fi when I have no choice, but I'm really team cable. It's more stable, you see. I prefer it. It's to have 2 operators. Then you need to get 2 subscriptions. But I know some people really need it. I'm ready to get 2 subscriptions, but at least my connection is good. Especially if it's your profession, your work, your passion. Afterwards, what will you be able to do with this computer? Like any Windows computer, internet, no problem. Multimedia, no problem. Netflix, all that. It's still a mini PC. It's still a big PC in the size of a mini PC. Since we have the best processor, we have a graphics card that holds up really well. We compared it. I had an old 1070 and we reached about those numbers. Then he'll tell me, yeah, a 1070, my kid put it in his... He rebuilt a PC, put it in there. He says, it's fine. There you go. You can max everything out, but most things play and play well. So you think, well, it could be enough. And we realize that, sure, they are miniature, compact, but they do the job more and more. And here we have the best score with Cinebench. Well, internet, office work, Excel, blah, blah, 2 terabytes of storage, 32 gigabytes of RAM for Windows. Well, yeah, I mean, not just that, because yes, the big advantage is really all these USB ports on the front. It's awesome. Then, plus the USB Type-C ports at the back, all that, plus the 2 HDMI ports, plus the 2 Ethernet ports. Okay, let's talk about the HDMI ports. They claim 8K display screens. So, you can have up to 2 8K screens. You need to already have some 8K screens, even 3, because you have the USB Type-C ports in the back. So you could connect them either via HDMI or USB Type-C. You should know that you have 2 USB Type-C 4 ports and 2 HDMI ports. There you go. Well, you have a bit more than you need. I just have 1 HDMI screen, so for me, that's fine. Maybe eventually a second, a bit older one. And of course, since it's the trend, actually, it's not really the mini PC that does that, but it's the processor. It has AI inside. So, which means everything and nothing. They announce a neural processing unit, the NPU, directly integrated into the AMD APU. There you have it, a new generation of processors with AI and everything. They announce a 60% performance increase for AI tasks, meaning those who want to install AI applications locally. They will be better handled by this new generation of processors. It can make sense. Kawin announces that the new generation of Ryzen Phoenix 7040 processors allows optimizing all that. And it's true that you are increasingly those who tinker a bit with wanting to install AI locally to make it work like that. Then can we mine? Not too much, but we can do AI, which is already not bad, but you can try to mine too. Here's a little information. They tell us that this new generation of x86 processors allows up to 16 trillion operations per second and 39 total system tops. You do what you want with it, I give you the information. And one of the questions that comes back to us is, does it heat up? Like a car. Does a car heat up? Yes. Yes and no. No, it doesn't heat up. It heats up, but not too much, theoretically, depending on how you use it. A mini PC is the same. It heats up a bit again. If you ask it for a little and then ask for everything at full speed, yes, it will start to heat up. So here, we have a low ice blast cooling system. That is to say, we have a fan system plus a blower. So it will blow like a... It's not a vacuum cleaner either, but you see, we'll hear it blowing, we'll hear it cooling. I promise you, when you see the size of the thing and the noise it makes, you'll end up saying, yes, it's cute. We are more at that level than, oh dear, I can't hear anything anymore. It's tempting, it blows a bit. And even then, only when it's needed, because generally, the cooling system is self-sufficient. It doesn't even need to force the fan to turn on when needed, which means not too long. So, a little recap, is it perfect? Well, actually, yes, because it's the best of the best. Now, you might not need all that. We'll certainly have the new Geekom models that have arrived, which might be a bit cheaper and just as powerful. But if you want the cream of the crop with the most connectivity possible, well, it's really the A8 Max. If you need less connectivity, maybe the A8 might be enough for you. But the A8 Max is not bad either. Well, I'm trying to tell you how much for the mini PC behind my screen. So I don't have all the prices yet. I will give you the prices in dollars, and then you can calculate in euros, knowing that generally we're not too far off. If you want the version with the R7, not the R9 like the one I have, there you go. So the R7-8845HS, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage is $749 instead of $849 on their site once again. If you want the R9 version, there with an 8845HS, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of SSD, well then, it is $919 instead of $1,000. Well, knowing that it's definitely going to be around these prices in euros, again, I don't have the official price. There will probably be a launch, there will be a promo code. I will put all that in the description. So the first ones who find the best prices on this version are 98845HS, 32 plus 2, 32 gigabytes. It's so good. Well, and as always, you will tell me in the comments what you think of this new Geekom A8 Max. Do you think this Max version is really a very, very good evolution of the A8? Because there is more connectivity, new chassis, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of SSD. Oh, gods. A Ryzen 9, there you go. You see, almost 15,000 with the Cinebench and all. Well, it's hard to believe all that fits in there. And that's really good. Plus, you saw we can easily open it, upgrade it, all that, repair it if needed. Oh, that's still not bad. Leave me a comment in these videos to say what you think about this Geekom A8 Max. Since all thumbs are allowed, if you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, of course, thumbs down, subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Click on the bell to receive a notification because I have lots of great products and it would be a shame to miss them. It would be nice if you subscribe. Plus, it's free. No, it will be free. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.